The Jim and Terry Show, coming to you from the Hobbit Hole Studio in Bobcaygeon. It's the weekend. Still podcasting? Yeah, trying to make up for lost time. My good friend Jim, absent from the hot seat, but he's coming in a few days. One of the things that Jim and I like to talk about is SpaceX. We do follow the prototyping. The most extraordinary thing that we've been able to see is the development of a rocket, from launching a tin can and just watching it hover tethered to the ground. A rocket tethered to the ground. Can you believe those days? And here we are these many years later watching, well, almost the only rocket game in town is Elon Musk and SpaceX. Lots to be celebrated as we think of a rescue mission to the International Space Station, perhaps decommissioning the International Space Station with assistance from SpaceX engineers, to refillable rockets in orbit for journeys to Moon and Mars and beyond. Lots to celebrate in SpaceX. The new Raptor engine is awesome. Biggest thrust ratio of any rocket engine ever designed. And that we celebrate. There will be an integrated flight test, or flight test number 5, coming up this month. And I hope Jim and I will be able to share the excitement of 3-screen surround sound, virtual reality glasses, and watch the launch together. So stay tuned and look for that one. We get excited with rocket launches. But today I'd like to talk about something else that Elon Musk is into that is not really something to be celebrated at all. It is his purchase, his acquisition, hostile takeover of Twitter. Now, I just became involved in Twitter as a retirement project for myself, just to surf through, see what's what, who's on there, what's being posted, who gets the, what do they call it, blowback, you know, when you post something and you get ratioed. I wanted to learn all about these things, so I became more of a regular viewer of Twitter content, and I've come to my own conclusions about Musk's claim to have purchased Twitter for the sake of free speech. What exactly is free when you're spreading hatred? I would like to know. But that's just one of my concerns. Content is, of course, one of the big concerns for me on Twitter. As an observer, someone who just follows a few people and checks out what's being said and the reaction to what's being said, who is reacting, what do they post. And invariably, we got a whole bunch of trolls and haters who just post the same drivel. They're just there because, well, wait a minute, better be careful when I say this. They're in their parents' basement, hovered over a darkened room with an illuminated screen in front of them in some kind of comfy chair. Well, the Hobbit Hole is in the basement. It is not my parents' house, but I better be careful what I say about basement dwellers. Wait a minute, Jim's also a basement dweller. Well, we have a lot in common besides our morning cup of coffee, which I do have ready here, Jim. Okay, that was a little slurp too much, maybe. Picked up by a compressor on a mic. But I do want to talk about the right-wing tendency on Twitter. Right-wing, not, I got to say this. Conservatism is not conservatism of old. As many people have said, acclaimed about the left, the Liberal Party in Canada, that it's way too far left, that it's moved. I'm not sure that it has. It appears to have moved because those on the right, and I can produce what I would call convincing evidence for this shift. It's not your grandfather's Conservative Party. It's not the party of the old conservative leaders. It is the party of a populist movement. And I'm not sure about all of that stuff. Anyway, that content is an aside. What I wanted to talk about is, where did Musk get his money for this purchase? And that is something that I came to follow. I followed in the Financial Post. I followed it on a number of, The Economist has covered this. So I've gone to some reputable journals to get some details. But what I am concerned about is the recent disclosure that Musk was forced to divulge the list of all of those who invested in Twitter at the time of the purchase. And the $44 billion purchase, now valued at what, 72% less than its purchase price? If that's not a problem, I don't know what is economically. And he funded part of that purchase by taking several tens of billions from Tesla, which caused some market valuation on that stock, which was not a good thing for his investors or his company. Anyway, stick with SpaceX maybe, Musk. Let's take a look at the gist of all of this stuff. And for me, the gist of it is where you're getting your money and vis-a-vis Russian oligarchs. So again, this is just as a result of financial disclosure documents that Elon Musk was forced to reveal. I don't know why you have to be forced to reveal it. It should be public knowledge. Where did you get your money from? No secrets. Where there are secrets, there are shadows. Where there are shadows, there are shadowy figures. And those shadowy figures might sound much like Natasha and Boris from the old Rocky and Bullwinkle show. Bullwinkle show. Anyway, Russian spies. Yes, Natasha. So, Elon Musk received funding from sanctioned Russian oligarchs, at least in part. Perhaps 10 billion maybe or so. A court document has revealed that Musk's acquisition of Twitter, now rebranded as X, was funded in part by two oligarchs, Peter Avan and Vadim Muskovich. And the Russians who gave that money to Musk, Avan and Muskovich, have strong ties to Putin and have been subject to Western sanctions due to their associations with the Kremlin amid their aggression in Ukraine. It is illegal, according to U.S. law, to engage in financial transactions with individuals or entities on the U.S. sanctions list, including sanctioned Russian oligarchs, without a special license from the U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC. What does this mean? It means that, I guess, in certain circumstances, you can still trade with a beep. You can still trade with these people if they have something that is necessary or vital to U.S. interests. You can get special dispensation to continue to trade. So, was Twitter deemed to be such an enterprise? I'm not sure how you could perceive it as such, because the platform has been taken over by pro-Russian trolls, bot armies, as I've learned. And that includes Elon Musk's post himself supporting pro-Russian comments that are posted on Twitter, to which Musk will agree. The Department of Justice, U.S. Department of Justice, does not publicly announce any investigation or prosecution, so Elon Musk may have already received a target letter. He would not necessarily disclose such a thing publicly, and a grand jury's proceedings are secret. In light of the DOJ's recent indictment of those YouTubers, those influencers, Tim Pool and Benny Johnson, among others, and there are a few with Canadian connections as well, and I will get to that maybe momentarily. It's unlikely that law enforcement would look past social media sites' owner illegally taking money from Putin-sanctioned oligarchs. So there's the crux of it. So is Musk on a target letter list? Has he been given fair warning that he's under investigation? Musk admitted that he spoke to Putin more than once about the war in Ukraine. This is concerning. Musk pushed Putin's peace deal that involved Ukraine giving all the existing occupied territories to Russia. Really? Okay, then I really don't think foreign policy is your specialty there, Mr. Musk. Elon Musk has always questioned American involvement in Ukraine's self-defense efforts. He refused a check from the Pentagon, has proposed pro-Russia plan to end the conflict, and has openly questioned Ukraine's strategy in the war. And there is a video clip from Tenet Media. That is the agency that's been charged with receiving $10 million of Russian money to promote Russia. Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, and a few others. Tenet Media. You can start checking out that controversy. They are also involved in promoting the far-right belief in white supremacy culture. Yeah, white supremacy. Elon Musk, South African. Who could figure that one out? Well, I guess anybody. The number of right-wing postings on Twitter, including the AI-generated Kamala Harris in a Russian red uniform with a fake statement saying Kamala vows to be a communist dictator on day one. No, it's actually Trump who vowed to be a dictator on day one, and yet that is also posted by Elon Musk. Then you get to Elon Musk repeatedly boosting the accounts of MAGA posters, Tim Pool and Benny Johnson. So he clicks, likes, shares all of their posts as well. So if you want to follow some crazy stuff, follow Tim Pool and Benny Johnson and you can see what they're up to. We have, again, Dmitry Simes, S-I-M-E-S, a Russian lobbyist, runs a think tank that receives funding from Putin. In 2022, Elon Musk spoke with Simes about his proposal to make Crimea an official part of Russia. Simes arranged a call between Musk and Kremlin officials. Simes has been indicted by the U.S. DOJ. So there we go. The noose is tightening around Elon Musk and Twitter, and I'm not sure where this is all going to run out or fall out. What will be the result of all this investigation? I'm not too sure. Now, there is a Canadian connection with far-right posters, influencers, and that goes into the Conservative Party of Canada, to members of Parliament, to advisors, consultants used by the Conservative Party. We'll get all to that in another podcast. Suffice to say, Elon Musk, stick to rockets and not propaganda. And whatever money you got, I hope you think it's worth it when the DOJ turns over a few rocks and starts checking in. Jim and Terry Show signing off. All things controversial at the bottom of the coffee. Bye-bye for now.